Did you know that at least 1 in 68 U.S. children are diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder? And although ASD is the leading childhood disorder, it is not the only disability that children face. This means that the likelihood that you or your child knows someone with a disability is very high. Hello, my name is Amy, and I'm here to talk to you today about the growing demands on education for children with special needs. There is a current flux in the way that special education students, or SPED students, are being educated. According to the No Child Left Behind Act of 2001, federal legislation mandates that all students with disabilities have meaningful access to the general education curriculum. Likewise, the IDEA, or the Individuals with Disability Education Act, states that they have the right to a free, appropriate public education as well as an education with the least restrictive environment. The issue is really in how it's being implemented. While some schools and school districts are taking an active approach, others are failing, and we need to put pressure on the ones that are not working and not doing their part. The schools that are showing success are those that have developed an integration student policies. This means that SPED students have access to regular classroom environments for at least part, if not all of the day, depending on the severity of their needs. The schools that are succeeding are also the schools that are providing training to their teachers. As stated in a law journal titled "A Solution Hiding in Plain Sight," the reason why some programs are working better than others is because general education teachers had a better understanding of disabilities and were better equipped with tools to help students with their social, emotional, and behavior challenges. Now, I know you must be thinking that this is adding a lot on the plates of our already overworked and underpaid teachers, but this really isn't the case. In reality, there are more moderate needs children than the amount of aids that can be available to help out. So in training teachers, we are empowering them with knowledge and tools. We are doing the teacher and the students a favor. We must also remember that the higher needs students generally have aids with them, and this takes away some of the responsibility off the teacher. But the problem is in funding for the moderate needs. There's not enough funding for the amount of aids needed, so many moderate needs children are under teachers who may not have the appropriate training and skill sets to accommodate them. So how do I know that integration works? I have seen it for myself. While working with the SPED program for over a year, I have seen a positive difference integration makes on the SPED students and the traditional students. I have witnessed drastic positive leaps in behavior, academics, and social skills. I spent 1 year with a 5th grade girl who, before coming to our program, was pretty much babysat for about 5 years. When she came to our program, we saw her take leaps and bounds and crush her expectations and our expectations of her. I have also seen the traditional students take on the SPED students under their wings. They befriend them, help them, have patience with them, take pride in them, and just love them. But don't just take my word for it. Leslie Hirakawa has been teaching SPED students for almost 20 years. She played an integral part in implementing successful integration practices with her students. Her beliefs that those with special needs can still contribute to their family and community to the best of their ability, and that we just need to teach them and show them how. She does this by ensuring that her students get as much peer time as possible. Now, I know you might look at this kind of program and think it could be a distraction to the traditional students in their classrooms. There's no denying that there's an occasional distraction or outburst. However, having children of my own who have been fortunate to work with special needs children in their classrooms, I can assure you that they learn more through this than they may otherwise learn. And it builds character in them in ways that we can't do. To me, it's worth the occasional classroom interruption. For the parents of these special needs students, this is a breath of fresh air and a much-needed program to help them and support their families. One parent of a high-functioning yet severely autistic son says she believes integration is benefit for both the special needs and typically developing students. She has seen firsthand how her son has grown in awareness and social skills through being with his peers. It's helped increase his play skills, patience, and observation. His peers have learned greater tolerance and understanding of all children, how to include and work with others, skills that will benefit them throughout life. Her son name is Camden. And here is a picture of Camden with his class last year. Looking right away, you will probably not know who he is. You probably also won't notice that there's another student in the same class who was part of our program. This is a close-up of Camden. How could you not look at that face and love him and want the best for him? Because of integration programs like the one we had, he is able to be with his peers as much as possible, including participating in field day. See him here with his classmates, and here on his own doing the sack race. We need to keep this momentum going. We need more resources for the growing number of children with special needs that continue to climb. We need to support schools that are already putting practices into play and demand other schools catch up. One way to do this is to send a letter to the Department of Education, tell them we want to see stricter guidelines on integrating special needs students, more training for regular and special need classroom teachers, and more funding for school so that they can upgrade their SPED programs. Or you can also go to ed.gov or the Department of Education for Special Education and click on the first link for more information and contact info. If nothing else, I plead that you would teach your typically functioning children and grandchildren, nieces, nephews, neighbors, and so on to appreciate those students with disabilities. Teach them to embrace differences in all others, for they may not know which one of their friends struggle daily with disabilities like ASD. Teach them by example in the way you treat others, and soon we will see our society unite together without any lines between us. Thank you for listening.